Hey, hey, chosen ones. Mama's back with part two. Chosen ones, why you look bad in photos and what Yahua says about it all. Also talking about the photos mainly in your smartphone, that how they come out and how you perceive them and how you look at them, and sometimes you don't really like them. And then also the reflections in mirrors and stuff. And that is the real essence of you, because you're actually looking at you in your soul view. Okay, so, but I'm going to get more into the mirrors after this. Let me get to this. So understand this. This is no judgment here on nobody, because like I said, I mess with them filters too. And I love the features of the phone, the camera phone on the smartphones, because we never had things like that back in the 70s growing up. And then I am one that love photography. I really do. I love landscapes and taking pictures of nature and all that. And I love that I'm good. Listen, I've always been photogenic, so I love me some camera. But I realize in seeing what it's done to people in Hollywood and how they project to us a false image. You do realize that. Them people in Hollywood with all that plastic surgery and stuff, they do that because they got to step outside all that, the fake high technology that they're using to make movies and videos and all that stuff. And they have to step out of that and step into the public eye when they do concerts or appear in person, when people really see what they look like. I mean, let me give you an example. I think it was last year that last Raiders of the Lost Ark came out. Now, that man ain't made a movie in so many years, Harrison Ford. And come on now, when I saw it, he looks so young, much younger. Now, I know darn well Harrison Ford is older than me. He was older than me when I saw the very first Star Wars. So I'm like, give me a break. And Tom Cruise be doing that stuff too. He's coming out with a new Mission Impossible. I just saw the preview when I went to see Sinners. And he looked pretty good. I mean, they let him age a little bit because they know you can't pull that off trying to make him look 25, 30 years old. Now, Tom Cruise is getting up there. So, but the thing with Harrison Ford, you was playing in our face. You know that, man. And they can't be that agile, jumping and running around like superheroes. Come on now. They up there. They got the back pain, the aches and pains, and ooh, this hurt. Trust me. If you ain't got hip to that stuff, listen. So now they got us doing it with the trickery from the use of these cell phones. And it's okay to play with it and have a little fun with it, but don't lose your authentic self is what I'm trying to say. And what God wants you to know in these videos, and the videos I'm putting together, which is going to be one more part, he wants you to understand, okay, you're going to do whatever in your life that makes life more bearable. However, what he wants is what's best in you being your authentic self. And just knowing a lot of this stuff is causing you harm unknowingly. Even like the wigs and the braids and the fake eyelashes that girls get all carried away with. The filters and extreme pics can have you believing it's the real you after time. Like in the case of that girl that was on that Tinder. She was dating, looking for dates and stuff. She got set up with a date. The guy sent her plane fare money. And then when they got to meeting each other, he was like, you don't look like your picture. He was very mad. And in one case, a woman was even murdered for lying because the guy was sending her money over the app over a period of time because he was courting her through the internet. And when he got to see the real her, he was very upset. Like, that's not you. You've been playing me. Da, da, da. So it could be dangerous, because the murder happened because the man said she was lying and embarrassing. And when he was paying for this and this and that, and you weren't who you thought you were when it came time to meet and greet. Some of us have grown to believe that image is really you. And this girl's self-defense was, well, it's me. It's just I don't use that much makeup. So the filter, but that's what I really look like. And then you see her and you clearly see that's not what she looked like. So he's trying to explain that. And it can be dangerous, my point. So, and what also people need to acknowledge and realize is that regarding the chakras, which are, I told you, based on your emotions, everything that you've endured in your life that's traumatic, get this part. Everything you've endured, you've survived, you've overcome, it is reflected on your body, your vessel, your temple in this earthly plane if you have not done the spiritual work to rid yourself of all of that. Okay, so that's basically the video is telling you all about those things. And we're going to get more into it, so I'm going to let you get to the video, okay? Hang on.
But here's what no one tells you. Your light is still there, buried, but not broken. And every layer of negative energy you release brings that light back into focus. So maybe it's not your appearance that needs retouching. Maybe it's your energy that's crying out for a reset. Because the moment you start cleansing your spirit is the moment the world starts seeing the real you again. And if you think that's powerful, wait until you hear what's trying to stop you from shining altogether. It's not just energy. It's something darker, and it's watching. There's something you need to hear, and it might make your heart race. Not every discomfort is random. Not every distorted photo is accidental. Sometimes, the shadows you see in your image aren't coming from the lighting. They're coming from a spiritual battle that's already begun. Because when your light is rare, when your presence disrupts darkness, you become a target. You see, not everyone is meant to be seen clearly. Some people carry a glow that threatens the unseen, a radiance that shifts atmospheres, a presence that awakens others. And that kind of energy doesn't go unnoticed in the spirit realm. There are forces, silent, subtle, strategic, that work over time to distort you, to blur your image, to make you second-guess your beauty, your identity, your worth. Because if they can convince you to hide, they never have to face the power you carry. Think about it. Why do you look off only when you're stepping into your confidence? Why do the photos you hate the most often come from moments when you were finally starting to feel free? It's because the enemy doesn't attack what's ordinary. It attacks what's chosen. And if your light has been dimmed in the physical, it might be because your spirit is burning too bright in the spiritual. But here's the twist. What darkness fears the most is exposure. Because once you know you're being targeted, you stop blaming yourself and you start fighting back. So don't be discouraged by that strange, off feeling you get from photos. Be alert, be armored, because the battle isn't about your face, it's about your purpose. And what's coming next will help you see yourself the way heaven always has, clear, radiant, untouchable. Let me ask you something most people never stop to consider. What if the camera isn't lying, but you are? Not intentionally, not maliciously, but quietly, constantly, with every thought you've believed about yourself that didn't come from God. We say, I look tired. God says, you're carrying too much. We say, I look broken. God says, you're healing. We say, I'm not enough. But God never said that. The truth is, the mirror you use every day is warped, not by glass, but by years of criticism, comparison, and silent self-rejection. You've been taught to find flaws before you find favor, to shrink your light before anyone can accuse you of shining too bright. And so, when you see a photo of yourself, you don't actually see yourself. You see your shame. You see what they said about you. You see every moment you felt invisible, and every lie you silently agreed with. But God, He sees glory. He sees the warrior who survived what should have ended them. He sees the light that hell couldn't put out. He sees the masterpiece still in progress, and loves every single brushstroke. So maybe the issue isn't how the world captures you. Maybe it's how you've been conditioned to filter yourself. Because when your internal dialogue is poisoned, even your external reflection becomes distorted. But the exact moment, you start seeing yourself through the eyes of the one who made you, something shifts. Not just in your mind, but in your presence.
Okay, chosen one family. So the pictures that we take with the smartphone, ultimately they're only in 2D. And when you look at them, you're seeing every trauma and whatever you've overcome and survived. And that's why you don't particularly like those pictures and you want to improve them. That's why we meditate to release, shift, and align to the new you and be free in your authenticity. And the Most High wants you to love yourself. The whole thing about being in this 3D reality is finding out and discovering and advancing that you're not in a reality. It's not real at all. Matrix. And that's what this is about, and it's trying to break you free. So we're going to go on to part 3, and then we're going to get into the mirror issue. Okay, hang in there.